today, we have Voya Financial here today. They're going to be talking to us about their Select Advantage IRA platform. It's a platform that I'm familiar with, that I have used in the past, that I feel is a great solution for clients that are familiar with mutual funds, that have used mutual funds in the past, want a diverse platform of options available to them. I believe the Select Advantage IRA product here is a great vehicle for that. And so we're pleased to have with us here today Nate Self and Jeff Finger from from Voya, to help us learn a little bit more about that product, and we'll turn it over to them. I think Jeff, Nate, you guys should have panelist mode, and I see you're sharing your screen, Nate. So feel free to take over, and look forward to learning about your product.
Hey, perfect. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you having us on here. You know, TFA has been a great partner of ours for a long time through the annuity days and the life insurance days, and you know, Select Advantage has been there the entire time as well. Actually, our number one product inside of TFA the entire time also. So, you know, so thank you for your continued business with us. And, you know, we're up year over year actually here with TFA, which is absolutely fantastic for all of the challenges that we've faced this year. So we'll get started here. I'm the regional sales director. I cover a pretty large territory, everything pretty much west of the Mississippi, including Illinois and Wisconsin. But then we have Nate Self that, you know, it's kind of the more kind of a boots on the ground guy that helps out with your presentations, building casework, all sorts of that stuff as well. You know, and I'm out here with our different conferences, webinars, things like that. Actually, finally back in the field at a real life conference here today, in fact. So kind of interesting to see things get back up and running. Nate, we can go to the next slide here. We'll start off with our mission, and that's to provide you with the fastest, easiest, and most client-friendly retirement product in the industry, backed by a trusted and familiar brand. I know how important branding is to TFA, and we really stress that with Voya here as well. We've spent a lot of money over the last, you know, number of years to make sure that people are familiar with and recognize the brand of Voya. In fact, Voya is now the number one name in retirement, with 72% of Americans just passing out Fidelity as the most recognized name in retirement. So this really benefits you because it's going to make your sale easier, because you're not going to have to pitch the company as well. You only have to worry about solving your clients' problems, presenting them with a solution. And that makes things that much easier. You know, that really helps lead to a more an easier and no objection sales product. I kind of already talked about this a little bit, but we have 3 levels of support for you guys, starting out with our sales ideas and concepts. And when we get back to conferences, you know, I was down in Las Vegas for your guys' conference here earlier this year. You know, so I'm not sure what that'll look like here again for next year, but then we have the regional sales consultants to help you guys, you know, work on those cases when you guys have them coming through, and then our new business case managers that really kind of help push that business through once you get it in the door. They're the ones calling out on your transfers and making sure that all the NIGOs are resolved as well. If I had to pick one negative thing about our product, it's that we are IRA money only. So this is really important to remember for Select Advantage. We are traditional, SEP, simple, and Roth business. That's all we can take in our product. It's how we keep our costs so low. We are a very transparent company, so we keep all of our fees, you know, incredibly transparent for the clients, and that only ranges from 50 to 60 basis points. So our average account size is $170,000 right now. So most of our clients are seeing that 50 basis point fee. But then we also accept money all the way down to $2,500, and they would experience that 60 basis point fee there. We also do have a $50 fee for any accounts below $15,000. We don't see those as often, but if they are smaller accounts, they'll see that as well. But otherwise, those are the only fees the client sees along with the management fee of their mutual fund. So it's a very simple structure, just two fees for almost every client out there. One of the biggest advantages of our product, Tony, I know you'll talk to this as well, but we are 100% liquid. That's one of the primary reasons people are going to choose a product like Select Advantage, because you can put money in here and know that your client's going to have access to it down the road. This really also will help you with the rest of the sales that you're making as well. When you pair a Select Advantage with an annuity, it's going to help provide for that emergency income. It's going to provide for the money they need before they can turn on the income from their annuity. It's going to provide for a way to pass money on to their beneficiaries. That liquidity is such an important part, because it provides that flexibility that clients really are looking for. After that, we have 128 different funds to choose from 25 fund families. So you have the ability to move between American funds and PIMCO and Franklin and Oppenheimer and all these companies, without having to pay a sales charge at all to do so. It allows you to really diversify your clients' assets. We pick the top fund families and the top funds from each one of those managers as well. We also have free automatic rebalancing, which allows you to, kind of set it and forget it with your clients. We really are a perfect Reg BI solution, because you can have your clients take a risk tolerance questionnaire, set them up in a moderate portfolio, set them up for automatic rebalancing, and know that they are going to be with a reputable company with reputable funds in a well allocated and well diversified portfolio that meets the needs for them. And that's something that is of course more important than ever nowadays. We also have no transaction charges. So let's say you change your mind down the road, which we all know clients do. If a client wanted to change their mind, it's very easy for them to make changes and transactions, and there's no charge for doing so. We also have no front end loads, so we're not your typical way to buy mutual funds. There are no costs to get into our product, no upfront sales loads, and no back end loads or transfer out fees when you leave either. This is, one of my favorite slides here as well. It just kind of covers where the money comes from that comes into the Select Advantage product. This, if there's anything that you guys want to pick up on today, it's this right here. Our product was born out of the retirement side of Voya. So the number one source of funds for us comes from job changers and retirees, people that have left their plan, that want to find better diversification, more investment choices, and more flexibility out of their retirement assets. That's where our product is such a great fit. Next, we found a lot of success with A shares. People that have existing books of business, maybe you bought a book of business, maybe you've inherited some clients, or maybe you're just talking to existing clients that have business with other reps. They probably at some point in time have purchased A shares. That's the way business was done. I mean, if you buy and hold an A share for 30 years, it is the lowest cost way to buy a mutual fund. The thing is, people are not buying mutual funds that way anymore. There's Facebook, there's Google, there's everything else that puts all this information out in front of them. And you guys have all heard of it before, but FOMO, the fear of missing out. People hear about their neighbor that made 20% last year when they only made 10%, and they want to get into whatever that investment is, even if it comes at the cost of a new 5% sales charge. They say, oh, I'll make that up and I'll still be ahead 5%. Well, that's just not necessarily the case either. So what's important about a product like ours is that if somebody is not happy with how their particular investment performed, it's easy for them to move to a new one without having to pay sales charges or anything like that, or transaction fees. So it makes your job easier. It makes the client more comfortable knowing that they're not locked into a one fund family that may not have all the asset classes that they're looking for. The annuity and Select Advantage split ticket is really one of the biggest ones for TFA as well. You guys are planners. You're building out income for your clients in the long term. And we know that the best way to provide a guaranteed income stream is, through an annuity. In my opinion, and I might be a little biased here, but you should always pair an annuity with a Select Advantage account. There are so many reasons for doing so. Liquidity is obviously the biggest one of those. Allowing your client to have that access to the money before the income kicks on allowing your client to use Select Advantage to help supplement their income for emergencies and for inflation is a huge factor, so that you know that there's always money on the side if they need a little extra bit. You also can use Select Advantage and to help pass that money on to their beneficiaries down the road as well. So it's really just such a great tool. Plus, broker dealers have requirements that, say with qualified money, you can only have, 50 or 60 or 70% inside of an annuity. The rest of it has to be liquid. And that's where Select Advantage helps make you more compliant as well. Finally here, I guess, well, there's two more I want to add on, but if you guys work with small business owners at all, you definitely need to consider the Select Advantage product. We offer the same massive tools that you can get out of the Voya 401k plans, the CalPERS, the Boeings, the massive plans that use us as their record keeper. You will get the same massive tools that they get to use for their online contributions. So we offer high dollar, high power tools for a startup simple IRA. So you can truly go in with $0 and start up a simple or SEP IRA with us, and get access to those tools. Finally, it's not written on here, but I know you guys compete against it all the time, and many of you may be advisory licensed as well. But we are an amazing solution to help segment your business and to help take over advisory accounts that other people have written. That's because our costs are so low and transparent that somebody coming in like the Ed Jones, the Ameriprise, whoever it may be down the road, that's charging 1.25 plus the fees of the funds, plus the fees of the platform, we're still going to come in at a lower cost than them. So you're going to be able to offer something that looks and feels like advisory without the advisory expenses and without the advisory, frankly, the advisory requirements. So it's easier for you to maintain and easier to deal with for the client as well. And that's something that if you are working on advisory business with, you can really consider, which clients are the right fit for advisory. Our solution allows you to provide them, with that tool that they can use to better manage those not lower dollar accounts, but anything below your advisory threshold. So let's say that's $500,000. Anything below $500,000, you can put in Select Advantage so it looks and feels like advisory, but is easier for you to maintain. Anything above $500,000, you move into your advisory platform where you're spending, more time with them, and this helps really provide you with that break in where you're going to be spending your time. Next slide here, Nate. And I'll hand off to Nate here on this next one as well. This is one of my favorite slides that he'll go through. It goes through our process and our kind of the sales experience that you'll see out of Select Advantage.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Before I jump into this, I just want to see if there was any questions from anyone on what Jeff presented on.
Hey, Nate, I'm going to ask a question. This regarding the advisory that Jeff had just mentioned. So the advantage is just that keeping someone under $500,000 with this platform just provides a more efficient tool for the client. Is that what you?
Yeah. Good question. So what we're hinting at here is maybe they've had a poor experience at a prior advisory firm. We're going to come in at a lower cost, provide them a similar platform with over 120 investment options. And it's going to look like an advisory account, but they won't see advisory fees come out on their statements. It is simply the record keeping fee of 50 basis points for any accounts over 100,000 and the underlying fund fees that we can get down in the 60 basis point range if you go with American funds. So all in, you can make a portfolio that's well diversified from 1.1 to 1.2 all in, and that includes your 1% upfront commission and a 50 trail. So you're lowering their overall expense, providing a similar experience. And you're more likely going to win that business if they're having a bad experience at another advisory firm.
Okay, great. Thanks for answering that again. I know Jeff just went over, but I just want to make sure I understood that correctly.
Yeah, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, yeah, as Jeff said, this is a great slide. This just walks everyone through on a line on what we can provide you for support before the sale, through the sale, after the sale. So on the left-hand side, you'll see myvoyaadvantage.com. That is our prospecting tool that I will go through here. I know, Tony, we talked about that a little bit, but it's a custom URL built for you to send out in emails. You can put it on LinkedIn. You can put it on your website once it's approved by your broker dealer. But it's a great way to have the sales funnel shortened so you can qualify leads and get information about the product and about Voya to your client efficiently. Next is our model portfolios. We have worked with our investment management team, in particular our chief market strategist at Voya, to design risk-based models using 6 funds with different strategies, asset classes, and just make it easier for you. We also compare that with a risk tolerance questionnaire that's Voya branded, so everything stays consistent, and it's very easy to fill out on the application. We could get out performance and a few example illustrations as well if folks are interested in those. Next is our easy application process, particularly with Transamerica. We are available on your Firelight system. So you can go all the way through client data entry, e-signature, and submission to your home office all online, which is very, very nice. Now, after the sale, once a business is approved and the assets arrive, we have a mobile application. It's the same app that our 401k, 403b participants use called Voya Retire. It's available on Apple and Android devices. And clients can go on the app and make simple changes. They can change an address. They can make a simple adjustment or a trade. And they have all the resources they need to self-service their account, which is in turn going to save you time as the advisor. Now, last, for the service experience for you, the advisor, all of our services in the United States now. That's something we're very proud of. We're going to be migrating our book of business all over to the new system, and we have offices in Tempe, Arizona, and Windsor, Connecticut, and we also have chat functionality on the website to help service accounts. You also are able to do fund transfers, distributions, reallocations right from the website located in Voya for Professionals. So here are the model portfolios that I just briefly mentioned. We use the same 6 funds across all risk tolerances. We diversify with 4 different fund managers. We have 3 different investment styles. These are all actively managed mutual funds. There's no passive management here. We have dynamic, strategic, active management. For example, we like to talk about the growth model because it's easier to compare with the S&P. Year to date, January through September, it posted just over 10% return compared to the S&P at 4%. And that's pretty incredible considering that that portfolio right there typically is 80% equity, 20% bonds. The Voya Global Perspectives Fund, as you can see in the middle there, is 30% across all risk tolerances. And what that does for your client is the way that he manages that fund dynamically is he looks at corporate earnings, and if he sees corporate earnings turning negative quarter over quarter, he will take out half of the equity, cut it from 60 down to 30, and essentially that drops the overall equity allocation of the portfolio by 10%. So the growth model typically is 80-20, but now that he's gone defensive, it's 70-30, and he's been able to time the market based on looking at corporate earnings. So pretty telling numbers here. I can definitely send out the performance information and some model illustrations if folks are interested. On this slide, this is our My Voya Advantage prospecting tool, and where you can find the prospecting tool is on voyaadvantage.com. Voyaadvantage.com is the advisor-facing website. This is anything pre-sale. So if you need to get an application or you want to look at some marketing material, look at the fund lineup, run an illustration, that's going to be on voyaadvantage.com. You also see our prospecting tool. So just underneath those 3 images there is a blue rectangular box that will have your last name embedded in a hyperlink. When you click on that hyperlink, it will take you to a consumer site. It will look very similar to this. The only difference is they won't be able to run illustrations or performance report. But the best thing about using this prospecting tool is we will send you a link, or a list, I should say, every Monday morning telling you which clients went out to your website. That way you know who's interested and you can follow up with them. We have made it so they are required to enter their first and last name when they click on the link so that you know exactly who's visiting your personal website. Now, where that's helpful, I've seen advisors use it pre-meeting just to provide the client with information about what you'll be talking about so you can close a sale much quicker. I've seen advisors using after a meeting so that they can gauge interest after you've presented but you weren't able to close a sale. I've seen advisors just send it out to a list of emails that they purchased and do a direct email campaign and just send it out blind carbon copy with a particular message. And all you simply need to do is either hit copy link or share website right there, and you're on your way to getting the message out about Select Advantage and growing your business. So really helpful tool, and it's free. So just to kind of wrap up here today, we went over where the Select Advantage IRA would fit into your book of business. If it's a low-cost way to access multiple well-known fund managers. You have no cost to change an account, so it's a very flexible solution. We have model portfolios that we designed with our investment management team here at Voya. You have Firelight to submit the business easier, and it is a truly liquid product for helping you do split tickets with annuities. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions anyone has, and me and Jeff will be happy to answer those.
Great. Hey, guys, if anyone has a question, feel free to share it in the chat. Thanks for sharing that, Nate and Jeff. That's pretty cool with the website. I wasn't aware of that website that we have access to that we could send to prospects and clients pre-meeting. That's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, I am not aware of another product sponsor that has a client-facing approved website like that. So it's a little bit of a competitive advantage, and we have seen a decent amount of business actually attracted because of that. So yeah, give it a try and let us know what you think.
For sure. And on the models that you shared, I typically have just built my own models or used some funds that that I like. Is that just a check the box model that the clients can choose?
Great question. So right now it is, you will have to mark on the application what funds you want. Our compliance team does not want us recommending and making it a portfolio because not every client's exactly the same. So what you could do to make it easier, on our Morningstar tools, when you're going through picking the allocations, there actually is an application button that you can just click, and that will pre-populate an application with all the allocations filled out for you. So that will save you some time. But to directly answer your question, the answer is no. You'll just have to fill out the application with the particular allocation. So if you go back here, all you would do is, say you're doing the moderate model, just put 15% in Calvert, so on.
Sure. Okay. There is a question that just got typed in the chat from Susan. I think it was just answered. Oh, okay. It was about, I'll just share it for everybody. Regarding, can a grandparent open up an education IRA for his grandchildren? That was the question. Do you guys want to answer? I know, Jeff, you typed in the answer. Do you want to share that for the group?
Yeah, so one of the great parts about our product as well is that we actually don't have any age limits. So you can, I think our oldest client's 108 years old. Our youngest client is 7. So we don't really have age restrictions, but we do have the same IRA restrictions that everybody else would have. So there has to be some sort of earned income in order for somebody to contribute to an IRA, or they would have to already have IRA assets in order to roll that money in to open up an account. So that's the only restricting factor, is where the money's coming from.
Okay. Thanks for answering. I think that's pretty clear. Going back to the simple IRA, so complete startup, starting out with $0, just going to start with the regular payroll deductions. That is good. For that, there's no minimums of the $2,500 that we need to meet. It can be a startup for a small company.
Yeah, that's right. It can be from ground zero. That's for SEP and simple IRAs. There's no requirements. We typically like to see about $50 a month coming in for each participant, and the only reason for that is there is that small account fee of $50 per year coming out, so it is a little expensive to get off the ground. So make sure that the participants are contributing moving forward, and they're aware of that fee.
Okay, so that $50 a month, that $50 annual fee, even as a company, it's still incurred by an individual basis. It's not aggregated as the total company.
That's right. Yeah, there's no cost to the employer whatsoever. It comes out of the participant's account.
Okay.
And then we do offer householding for that once the account, the whole account of the simple IRA hits 250,000, which might seem like a lot, but we're typically seeing that in only a few years for most of our simple IRAs.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, okay.
Yep. Total plan gets over 250,000. We'll waive that small account fee for all participants.
Everybody, I see. Okay. Anyone else having any other questions? I don't see any. I know, Nate, you've helped me with illustrations in the past, so they can reach out to you for illustrations. I've even run my own illustrations using that the website. It's very user friendly. Just to let everybody know, the platform of funds, if you want to learn about it, take a look at it. There's a lot of the funds I know that are my favorites, all the well-known money managers that are out there that we're used to, the T. Rowe Prices and American funds. So it makes it a very competitive product in my opinion. And then one last question, some of us, we've been working with Voya all the way, for a long time, a lot of it on the annuity space. Touch on two things. One, just looking at the Nate, I know we've talked about this, the old annuities that are coming up out of surrender with the interest rate environment, and then also too, for those of us that have existing business with Select Advantage IRA that is currently sitting on the venerable system, any expectation that you can maybe share, maybe that when that'll merge over back to Voya Financial?
Yeah, certainly. So your second question, that business is anticipated to all be moved for you automatically, all the Select Advantage business off of the Venerable platform come June of 2021. So we're about 8 months away, and it's all going to be like a flip of a switch, and the business will be migrated to the Voya for Professionals system. To your first point, yeah, we definitely are seeing business getting out of annuity contracts that are out of surrender. And the reason being, the rates have dropped through the floor. Clients are seeing market value adjustments to their account, increasing their account value. And they're wanting to get into a more flexible type solution with more investment options. And frankly, lower fees. If they have an income rider on their account and they're not anticipating to use the income down the road, this is a great way to get them into a liquid solution. But yeah, you could go after your existing Voya annuity business and move it over here, and then you don't even have to explain to your client who Venerable is, and they will never have to experience that website. It will all be on the Voya.com site and the Voya Retire mobile app. So,
okay, good. Thanks for sharing that. I don't see any other questions. So I just want to, say thanks again, Nate, for you and Jeff for coming on. Appreciate the time and just sharing a little bit about your product. It's a very good product, in my opinion. As we talked about earlier, we do a lot of advisory stuff, but not every client is maybe ready for that type of service. So I always look at the Voya product as an avenue for the IRA business, because it looks very similar to their old 401k, where you have many fund options to choose from. You got the very user-friendly website, and now an app that I wasn't even aware of that they have access to. So that's great. So it's a very suitable product for a client that's just not ready yet for that active money management, that advisory type business that maybe they just have to grow into. So this is definitely a very good solution for it, and don't have to deal with the upfront fees, loads and stuff like that on a retail mutual fund. So appreciate for sharing.
my pleasure.
Questions, And thank you very much. And then I'll continue here on. Thanks, Nate. Any last words?
No, I appreciate it. No, if anyone has questions or wants to learn more about the product or how it can fit into your business, please give me a call. That's the best way to reach me.